Welcome to Hairenik Media's Newscast. I'm your guest host, Ani Zargarian in Boston. This week, we will be discussing developments in the homeland and the diaspora. Let's bring in our Yerevan correspondent, Naré Navasardyan, for more. Welcome, Naré. In the past week, we saw Artsak's current and former human rights defenders lead rallies in Yerevan to advocate for the release of Armenian prisoners in Baku. This comes as the ANCA and AYF chapters across the US and the world organize coordinated protest actions. Naré, why is the timing strategic to push for the release of Armenian prisoners, including Artsak's military and political elite?
Baku is preparing to host the big COP29 climate change summit, and this is why this time frame is perfect to raise awareness about 23 Armenian hostages still held illegally in Baku. We know that they are held there without, their basic human rights being defended, and they are almost forgotten by the Armenian authorities. The Armenian government does not really follow the path of demanding justice for them. So instead, the civil society and the church have made their voices heard with a number of campaigns, not only in Yerevan, but also in DC, AYF and ANCA, and a number of other human rights organizations, including the Artsakh Human Rights Defender, current and former, are instead taking up this challenge.
Naré, what are some other major developments on people's minds this week?
This week we've seen big developments of international importance surrounding Armenia. In Moscow, Pashinyan said that he's ready to sign a peace agreement with Aliyev, even though the parties have not agreed on all the points, but he's ready to sign it partially. And Aliyev said that he doesn't really know when we will see this signing of this agreement. And he also said that it only depends on the comprehensive full agreement on all the points, which is usually what is procedure for this type of peace agreements. So we see that the Armenian government really wants to have something to show for these lengthy negotiations that saw the Armenian side make many painful concessions. And then we also saw this week there was a soldier that also died in non-combat, was another non-combat death of a soldier in Mehri. And we see that this is a trend. Over 30 such deaths have occurred just in 2024. The Armenian army shows no signs of accountability. It acts with impunity. And even those deaths, they don't really become this major issues, the public issues. And another point is that after the Moscow summit, we also found out that the Russian border guards are to be removed from borders with Iran and Turkey, which is after they were removed from the Zvartnots airport earlier this summer. This piece of news is also worrisome because this comes with Turkey and Azerbaijan holding many military exercises together, and Armenia is moving further and further away from its security guarantees, and there's a big vacuum, and we don't really know which forces are going to be filling this vacuum and acting as security guarantors, because the Armenian NSS itself, it's not enough to guarantee the security of those borders.
At this time of extreme uncertainty this year, Yerevan put on a major celebration for the city's birthday.
Greetings, Hairenik. Did you know that Yerevan is older than Rome? Today, the beating heart of the Armenian world, Yerevan, celebrates its 2806th anniversary. This city has come a very long way. Between 16th and 18th centuries, it was going back and forth between Persian Empire and the Ottomans. It went back and forth 14 times, and then finally it was conquered by Russian Empire in 1827, and many Armenian volunteer squads supported this effort. Now Yerevan has over 1 million population, and its main author and architect Tamanyan reimagined it in 1930s in the shape of a sun. The map of Yerevan is in the shape of the sun, which is very characteristic of a city that has over 300 sunny days per year. Now Yerevansis are out and about celebrating our favorite city with jazz, pop and rock festivals, wine and beer fests, and even sports. We join the celebrations and wish Yerevan many, many centuries of peace and prosperity.
Naré, tell us, what was the mood in the city during the festivities on Sunday?
The mood was great. There was something for everyone, whether you liked pop music or jazz music. Hamasyan especially was very popular. And especially there were many guests of the city that enjoyed these celebrations. But you can find that even in countries that are at war or that have like very uncertain futures, people still need to have some release. They need to have a break, to take a break and to come together. These people, they're not really going to be affecting the major political decisions. So they just want to enjoy the moment, and it's very understandable from like the human point of view that it was a very nice celebration for a city that hasn't had its anniversary celebrated on such a scale for quite a few years.
Thank you, Naré.
Thank you, Ani.
Thank you all for joining us this week on the Hairenik Newscast. Be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and X. And we'll see you again next week.